Do you keep track of every positive thing someone says about you? Or do you brush it off and say, oh, it's just what I do? Many people that I speak to don't actually really value the things that they do well. And what happens is when they get to interviews or they start looking for work, they actually find it really hard to remember everything that they're good at. So, an exercise that I ask all of my career coaching clients to do is to keep a compliments tracker. And it can be really helpful on a bad day to just come back to a nice list of things where people have said, oh, thank you for that. That was great. Or you were so supportive to me. Or this report was fantastic. It doesn't matter how small that compliment was. Could be all about the workplace, could be about how you look physically or you look well, but in the work context, keeping every single compliment or bit of praise can be really helpful log. So start by thinking about what you've already got. Maybe you've got some emails that you've kept. Maybe you've got an appraisal document where people above you, or if you've done 360-degree reviews, maybe you've already got some information. You can start to gather and piece together a list of all your compliments. We often overlook appraisals because we are traditionally focused on what the appraisal is telling us to improve. So we come out of an appraisal, and even if it was fantastic, we will often say, right, okay, so I've got to improve how I am with presentations. I've got to get a bit more detailed in my report. I need to be more strategic, or whatever it is that they've said. And what we've done there is, yes, great, we've worked on the things that we need to improve, but we've forgotten all of the other 90% of the meeting where someone said that you were great, or that you'd made a real contribution, or that they'd noticed certain talents, or we'd made some efficiencies or helped the business in some way. So what I want you to do is go back to any appraisal reports and only look at them with a view to identifying all of the positive things, all of the things that people have said that you've done well at, and write those into your compliments log. And then go back to any emails, or even if you haven't kept the email, but maybe you've remembered, oh yes, so from accounts said this was great, or my team said thank you because there was something supportive that I'd done, and make a note of those. So you've got a little bit of a log already to start with. And then what I want you to do is, anytime anybody says thank you, well done, that was great, so helpful, write it in there. Save the email. I used to have a little email file that just said praise, and I would just drag it in anytime that I got an email that said thank you, well done. And it was actually very helpful to have this list, because when I went then into my next appraisal, I could go through and see where I had actually made a difference, and I could make my appraisal much more positively slanted. When you're going to start writing your CV and look at your interviews, sometimes it can be really helpful to be thinking about not just what you've done, but how you've done it. And if you've got some praise that says you were genuine, you were authentic, you were caring, you can add those words into your CV so that it brings it to life. But by noticing it all and saving it all, you've got a nice little store to go back to. So have a try and see how it makes you feel.